Hey guys, I've been doing some scouring around the internet, and I've noticed the supreme lack of Starfinder build guides. I mean, with Dungeons and Dragons 5e, you can find a build for practically anything. I mean, Minecraft, Steve, Superman, any fictional character you can find or real life character probably, you can find a guide for, to build them in Dungeons and Dragons, but it's not the same with Starfinder, and I guess that's just because there's such a big popularity difference between the two. And in all reality, it's quite the comparison to try and make. I mean, 5e is like a giant world-ending Tarrasque, whereas Starfinder's about as small as a Yosoki crawling around the ditches. So it's not even close, but that's why I'm here today, to bring you my own guide on how to make a dual wielder in Starfinder. We're talking gunslinging, laser pistols, bullet pistols, anything like that. And for that, we're going to be using this website. I'll put the link in the description, but it's called Hephaestus or Hephaestus. It's pretty popular in the community for making character sheets online, and I highly recommend you check it out yourself, because it's got most of the content in there, and it mostly works all right. I am GMing a game of Starfinder with 3 of my friends, and one of them is actually focusing on dual wielding pistols, bullet pistols to be exact, and his setup is pretty good, especially considering that he's mainly a pilot. He's the mechanic class with an exo cortex, so he's doing pretty well as a gunslinger with dual wielding, but I think I can make it better and make a more pure-blooded gunslinger, in my opinion. So my first thought was actually, mechanic, because that's what I have experience with, and he's doing pretty good. But then I realized, well, okay, in order to get a good base attack bonus, you have to lock on with your exo cortex, and your mechanical tricks and hacks and whatnot are good, but they're not necessarily pure-blooded gunslinging. So then I thought operative, but turns out operative's trick attacks are a full action on their own, so you can't dual wield and shoot twice while activating your trick attack. You have to choose one or the other, and that's disappointing because the operatives actually get 4 attacks per full attack, which is more than any other class, but you won't be able to fully utilize the operative's trick attack, his main ability, with dual wielding. So that's what brought me to the soldier. As you can see here, the soldier is great because it has fighting styles that pretty much directly upgrade your full attack action, and it's pretty good. So let's get started making this guy. As you can see, I've already made him, but I'll just walk you through what my thought process is. So for race, I picked a Kasatha, specifically the Kasatha native variation, because they do get a dex bonus. There are some alternative races that, in the additional source books that are +4 dex, and those are really good because you'll be shooting a lot. Obviously, you want your dexterity to be really high. But I thought that Kasatha was a good fit because I could hold more guns with my forearms. So I figured that would be a good fit. Since as soldier we are going to be able to attack 3 times with a full attack, I figured it would be good to hold 3 different guns and have 3 different effects going out at the same time. So that's why I chose Kasatha, because I could have the forearms and a dex bonus. Theme, go ahead and choose whatever you want. I chose themeless just because kind of edgy like that, I don't fit a particular character concept. I'm my own man. But go ahead and choose whatever you want. Prefer, dexterity bonus, because again, you're going to be using dexterity a lot. As I said, introducing this, the soldier is what class we're going with, and we're going soldier all the way to 20. You don't have to go all the way to 20, I suppose. You could, multi-class into class, casting class, like a magic class or something. But I would have to look into that because I don't have a lot of experience multi-classing in this system yet. But besides that, we're going all the way into soldier. And here's the reason why. Primary fighting style, sharpshooter. Uh, the description of it will lead you to believe that you're, making long distance attacks, accurate sniping. No. We're not using it for that. We're using it for the opposite. We're using it to shoot accurately at close range with a lot of guns. Um, we'll get into the exact specifics of that in just a hot minute. Um, you get a bunch of gear boosts, and these sort of upgrade different weapon types for you. For instance, I have laser accuracy as my very first one that I unlock at level 3, and that gives me a +1 bonus to attack rolls with every laser weapon, and different ones do different things for different kinds of weapons. For laser, it's accuracy. For electric weapons, it's arcing to different opponents. For cryo weapons, it's, slowing them down. Different things like that. You even have ones for unarmed and stuff like that. So the idea is that you can have a lot of different guns that do a lot of different special effects. Yeah. But as you can see here, I also, instead of taking a gear boost for one of mine, I took a feat boost, which improves one of my feats, which we'll be getting to later. It's also worth noting that as soldier, you get a lot of combat feats. Pretty much every time you get a normal feat, you also get to choose an additional combat feat. Coming down, level 9 is our next big stop for the class where you get your secondary fighting style. You'll remember up top we chose sharpshooter for our primary combat style, but for secondary we're choosing hit and run because again it's going to help us with our full attacks and making lots of attacks in one turn. And then level 11 is when you get your bread and butter soldier's onslaught. When you make a full attack, you can make 3 attacks instead of the normal 2. It does give you a higher penalty. Yeah, normally you only take a -4, but you take a -2. But again, the math works out pretty well in your favor for another attack at an additional -2. And we have things to counter that as well. Abilities, do whatever you want for your abilities, just make sure that dexterity is the highest. Constitution and intelligence are nice for stamina and skill points respectively, but the rest of them are kind of just dump in my opinion. Skills, again, whatever you kind of want. You want to be like you want to be, super techie, guy, then go with that, whatever you want. Showing our feats list, like I said, you get a combat feat with every feat as a soldier. So we get a lot of feats. You essentially get twice as many feats as any other class, and most of these are combat feats for helping you in combat, but there's also ones that are, helpful altogether, just like toughness or greater fortitude, iron will, lightning reflexes, that sort of thing. Important to take weapon focus as soon as possible because it gives you a +1 to hit. So pretty much either like level 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever, I would take weapon focus because that will help you hit your multiple shots. I haven't given him any equipment just because you can do that on your own. But if we head over to our character sheet actually, then we can see our class features in more detail. The whole concept of this class revolves around these 2 specific fighting styles, sharpshooter and hit and run. Starting with sharpshooter, sniper's aim is helpful because you can shoot people in cover more easily, reduces their AZ when they're behind cover, which is always good. But this is where it's real good. When you make the full attack with a ranged weapon, you can make both attacks with a -3 instead of a -4, and this also applies once you have your soldier's onslaught, that it's a -5 instead of a -6. So that's again adding to your chance to hit, which is so valuable when you're subtracting, these big numbers. So that's really great. And then even better, once you get to a higher level, focus damage, you do additional damage. In addition to being more accurate, you also do higher damage, which is awesome. Prepared shot as your sort of capstone for sharpshooter is also great because it means that you can take a turn that maybe you don't have your full action, take a movement, and then as a standard action you study the target, and then you get a +2 to your first attack, and then if you do hit them, they get staggered. Always good to have extra bonus conditions on your enemies. Hey, this is Zach from the future. Just coming in to let you know of another really important thing to take early on. Sharpshooter's great and all, and your fighting styles are great and all, but a really important feat to take early on with this build is right down here, multi-weapon fighting. It essentially just gives you another +1 to attack when you make a full attack, or rather it reduces the penalty by 1. So yeah, make sure you take that as soon as possible as well to build up more, chance to hit. And then, like I said, it revolves around that and your hit and run, which opening volley is alright. If you're not using melee though, it's kind of a throwaway feat. But nimble fusillade is really good because normally when you're making a full attack you can't move at all, and so being able to make that full attack and either move up to half your speed or take a guarded step, it really just makes it makes you on a higher level because it can come before your full attack, which means you can guarded step out of someone's reach and then launch 3 shots into them. It's really great for that. Besides that, I should say, are your gear boosts, which I don't actually have good gear boosts in here, so I'm going to switch those for you. Because those can actually really help you. They can really help you. How do I put it? Hinder your enemies. You can have some really good debuffs to your enemies that are kind of amazing. So say we'll put these on, and then bullet barrage, I suppose. So say we have 3 different weapons, because we can make 3 attacks with, 3 different weapons in our hands. You can hit the same guy with a cryo weapon, which will reduce his speed. Then you can hit him with an electric weapon, which will arc to another enemy. And then you can hit him with a bullet, which will just do more damage. And end up doing like +5 damage or something because it increases by level. Or you can, use your laser gun. If they're particularly hard to hit, use your laser gun and you'll have more accuracy. This is just icing on the cake for dual wielding, or triple wielding, I guess in our case, because it means you can just apply debuff onto debuff. And I don't even know what all these do. Caustic burns, blast special property, you just mess around with it. Bright weapon special property. It's just the possibilities are really great with this sort of build, and the debuffs that you can impose on someone while doing massive amounts of damage with pretty accurate attacks all in one turn. But yeah, that's about it. I'll go to the character sheet one last time for you to see. Again, I don't have any things equipped right now, but you can see that. I hope you can kind of see where the idea of this build came in applying different debuffs and all in the same turn. And you can get feats to help with that as well, because you get so many of them. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial. If you want to see more, let me know what kind of build I should do next. Also, if I got anything wrong in this video, or you think you know of something else that I missed, please let me know. I am very new to this system, so I'm trying to learn as much as I can, and you guys, I know somebody out there knows more than me. So yeah, I hope you guys have a good day and stay frosty.